What's going on, Vapor fans? Welcome to the season finale of the Straight Volt Season 2. Okay, finally made it this far. So, today we're going to be talking about the Imren Leopard battery. Definitely a fancy wrapper on the outside, but is it all it's cracked up to be? We're just going to have to find out together. Before we begin today's episode, shout outs to the Vape Dinner Lady, vapedinnerlady.com. You can check them out, the website over here. They have a lot of different awards and they've been to a lot of different shows lately. Doing very well for themselves. They have all their, most famous flavors right in front of the website: strawberry custard, lemon tart, rice pudding, and cornflake tart. Personally, I have tried the lemon tart and the cornflake tart myself. They seem to be very interesting cereal flavors to me. For me personally, most of the Vape Dinner Lady collection tasted like a bunch of cereal vapes. So Peg, do you like Vape Dinner Lady? Well, I think it's a great way to try out cereal if you're lactose intolerant. Okay, so moving on to the dive cam, today's item, the Imren Leopard battery, okay? Let's take a close look at this thing. 2,600 milliamp hours at 50, wow, max 50 amps. Could you hype this any harder, really? 50 amps, is that what you're telling people? Okay, so just gonna show you the box packaging over here. Definitely very gimmicky. Okay, as I always say, if you can't be innovative, be as gimmicky as possible. But probably not in the case of batteries. Okay, because batteries, there's a lot of demystifying that still needs to be going on, and a lot of truth that needs to be revealed. Definitely, this company going in the opposite direction and just creating another hype sell. So to prove what it is and what it's actually underneath the wrapper, it is time to go over to graph time. Okay, so once again, we are over at the Straight Volt battery graphs over here. So let's take a look at this little sucker. Let's go down the line over here, and we're looking for Imren batteries. Here we go. Imren, I haven't made a folder for it just yet, but I will. So let's take a look at the discharge of this little guy first. So let's bring up the graph, and here we go. Okay, so what are we looking at? What's going on over here? You get 97.9 promised at 2,600 milliamp hours. So nice line over here, curves out, looking pretty good. Okay, but the question is, what is this thing? Exactly what is this thing? Well, the fact that it claims that it's 2,600 milliamp hours as opposed to 2,500 milliamp hours, the first thing that I'm definitely going to try is a VTC5. And then if that doesn't come close, then we'll go over to the HE2s, HE4s, 25Rs, and then see if we could find a matching line. If not, then we just have no idea what's actually underneath the wrapper. So let's go ahead and do that, okay? My first guess, definitely VTC5. Let's go with the overlay over here. So Sony batteries, VTC5 regular over here, and then let's check out the discharge and overlay this. Wow, what a shocker. Okay, so VTC5, boom, you can see that they basically line up in a same kind of roller coaster curve. So we can safely say that what's underneath this wrapper is definitely a VTC5, except for one issue. The one issue is what? You get 99.4% for just buying a regular VTC battery, okay? As I said always, guys, okay? Different ratings for different stuff. Definitely for your standard ratings of things, HE2s, HE4s, and stuff like that, when a battery has 96.5% efficiency rating, I definitely give it an A grade. However, there's going to be certain exceptions to be made for certain batteries because they happen to be overachievers or just very well made or something like that. So for this episode, right, what I want to show you guys is that the VTC5 is a pretty darn good battery, okay? And what you're going to get out of your VTC5 is 2.584, which is slightly even more than the Samsung 25R, okay? However, performance-wise is another totally another issue. Now, so you're definitely getting more juice out of this, right? And then what am I saying? What's going on over here? Definitely the Imren battery is going to be from a slightly lower bin, and it completely makes sense because you need to buy a slightly cheaper battery so that the processing of said hype packaging, right? Who's going to pay for this? Well, it's going to come out of the difference of using a cheaper battery. And this is exactly what I really, really despise about companies like this. But we'll come back and we'll talk about that again later on. But first, I'm sure what you really guys want to see is the power profile curve of this thing. So let's not delay that and go over to this. So let's open a new file over here. Okay, well, sorry, not a new file. Let's just open a new file. And then go over to the Imren batteries, and then let's open up the power profile and see what it looks like. No, don't save over here. So this is the nice curve, right? As we always say, looking at these power profile curves is that like it basically tells us nothing on its own, okay, unless you're able to memorize all the lines visually in your mind. Once we compare it, benchmark it to other things, then we're definitely going to be able to set certain standards for stuff. Okay, so what I want to do is that the first thing is that we're going to go ahead and overlay the VTC5 because we already know that's what it is. So how does we already know that, like, you know, in the discharge curve, right, that the Imren battery right now is slightly under what a standard VTC5 is. So let's see how it stands up to it as far as the performance is concerned. So here we go, power profile of VTC5, and then open. Wow, guys, are you shocked? Lo and behold, right, we see that the Imren battery underperforms to just a standard regular VTC5 battery. Meaning, if you want whatever this thing actually is, you are way, way better off not paying for the packaging, not paying for the wrapper, and just get yourself a regular VTC5 battery. Now, since right now it's the end of the year 2016 and Sony has updated their batteries and stuff, let's go ahead and just for giggles overlay this thing to a VTC5A battery. So let's open that, okay, and the power profile curve of a VTC5A, boom, of course it's going to be better, okay? But still, guys, remember what I said, all right? If you really need to know for the C-class batteries regarding performance, what is better by the hairline, okay? I'm still going to show you that on the overlay over here. Let's go over to the Samsung batteries, and then the 25R5 in mint, and power profile curve, boom, slightly better, okay? Not by a lot, by hairline, okay? Looking at this over here, because nobody's really vaping 20 amp batteries at 8 or 9 amps, okay? So, like, look, if I highlight this, this is like 9 amps. You know what I mean? You're not really using 20 amp batteries at 9 amps. Come on, let's be honest. You're gonna be using them somewhere around here, right? At 18 amps, right? To 20 amps. So therefore, like when you look at the volts on this thing, 3.178 versus 3.155, it's so minute that there's no way you're going to be able to taste it. However, in comparison to the Imren Leopard battery, oh yeah, you're definitely going to notice that one, okay? So let's come back up to FaceTime and finish my final thoughts on these batteries. Okay, guys, so final thoughts on this thing. As always, don't spend money on hype cells, okay? You guys knew it. You knew it right away, right? 50 amps, hype cell, Leopard battery. What is up with the leopard skin anyways? Is this supposed to like represent like some kind of cheetah or whatever, and it's fast and powerful or something? I'm not sure, okay? But what I can tell you is that once it goes onto the analyzer, all truth comes out, exactly what the cell is underneath and exactly what quality of the cell is underneath versus a standard 8-pin VTC5, okay? And we're not even going to compare it to the VTC5A because that'll just destroy it, right? So, guys, definitely be careful of what you're buying. and try your best to stay away from things like this, because that's how they compensate for the price difference. In fact, well, when you search for these things online, they sell for higher than an OEM battery. Okay, now it's one thing for you guys to educate yourselves with like OEM batteries so that you know what is what and what you're buying and how to appraise for things, or whatever. But what I really feel bad for is people who are unwary of this stuff, and it's up to all of us to really spread the word on this type of knowledge so that, like, people aren't being bamboozled by paying more for something less, and all you're really getting is fancy wrappers. Okay, so that is it for the Straight Volt Season 2, guys. Let me talk to you a little bit about what's coming up in Season 3. Season 3 will be released in January, okay, and this time it's going to be a lot more scheduled. Okay, behind me over here, I already have plenty of 26650s for testing, and I already have a lot of the results for things like that. New OEM batteries, King of the Hill of stuff. The some AOSO, some EFES. It's going to be a couple of hysterical episodes, especially regarding the EFES stuff. Okay, but yeah, guys, January, starting from January 1st, as the how the Straight Volt always begins, I think I'm going to redo all the episodes first, okay, so that they'll be back to back to back to back, like and scheduled to release every single week. Okay, so definitely Season 3 is going to be something to definitely look forward to, because it will contain all the other 26650 cells in there, as well as a lot of new OEM batteries. Okay, so guys, really hope you enjoyed the episodes and these seasons as much as I enjoyed making them for you. As we always say here on PVA, question everything, do your homework, vape clever. Take care, guys. I'll see you next year. For more knowledge on battery safety, vaping, and high-end batteries, please click on the banner and check out PegasusVaporAcademy.com.